Hi, I'm John Voss with Historypin, and thanks for joining us for this group of sessions which we're calling Historypin Community Engagement Strategies, Tips and Tricks. Now, the idea is that we've learned a lot of stuff at Historypin that's not specific to what we do, but more generally applicable to community archiving strategies, which you may be taking on at your library, archive, museum, or as a community group as well. So thanks to funding and really the inspiration to do this from the Metropolitan New York Library Council, we're going to gather all of our community officers from around the world, mainly in London and here in San Francisco, and go through some of the things that we think are going to be really helpful for people to look at. And I also want to thank Natalie Milbrot and the Queens Public Library and their work, particularly around the Queens neighborhood stories, which you see here, a project up on Historypin now. This really gave us a lot of the ideas behind what we could do to share some of these lessons with you. So we're going to break it down a bit, and first I want to introduce you to our all-star cast, our team joining us, and we'll let them say a few words about themselves as well. But just want to say real quickly that obviously all of our experience has been aided and inspired by the work of many elders in many communities, longtime storytellers. You all know these kinds of people who really share these amazing memories and stories, and also inspire others to do the same. So with that, let's introduce everybody. We'll start with Carrie, who's in the San Francisco office, and then everyone else will be in the London office. So Carrie, why don't you start us off?
Hi everyone, I'm Carrie and I'm a community officer at Historypin, and for over the past year I've been working on our Year of the Bay project, which is about gathering stories and photos and all of the rich like from people and individuals and groups in the San Francisco Bay Area. So I'm working on that still for a little bit, and I'm currently starting new work on a project with the U.S. National Archives, which we've kind of just started rolling on to help them run engagement around their awesome collection of World War I and World War II films.
All right, thanks, Carrie. And Lisa?
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm the Historypin Community Officer in London, and I am working on using Historypin tools to reach out to a variety of audiences and community groups, and hopefully trying to help them explore, engage, search, use their own heritage. So I'm working on a project with pubs, and on a project with traditional Irish musicians, and also on a project with a veterans group from a large supermarket in the UK. So,
thanks, Lisa. And Rebecca Abraham. Well, we always end to say both our first and last name because we have two Rebeccas in our office in London. Go ahead, Rebecca.
So I'm the operations director for Historypin. So I've been helping to manage and deliver lots of our community projects around the world. So supporting our community officers with their outreach work, also feeding in what we learn about what's happening on the ground into the core development of our tools and programs.
All right, perfect, thanks. And Sophie.
I am a community officer, and I'm working around First World War projects and helping them get onto Historypin. And this includes a variety of different tasks and different ways of encouraging people to use Historypin more.
Thanks, Sophie. And finally, Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm a Historypin Community Officer also in London, and I'm working on a project called This Used to Be Fields, which tells a shared history of a very large post-war housing estate in East London. And I work with grassroots community groups and organisations to try and help them gather their stories and memories and get them up on Historypin, and also to use Historypin's tools effectively on the ground there.
All right, great. There you have it. That's our team. A lot of great lessons that we've learned that hopefully will be useful for you. Now, we've broken it down into 5 sections, which we hope will be the most useful, starting with number 1, know your audience. So how do we choose our audiences? What are the things you want to know going into this, etc.? Section 2 is our intended outcomes and evaluation strategies. So that's something that usually you tend to think of last, but we've put it up as number 2 because it makes things a whole lot easier when you take that into account from the get-go, and allows you to build an evaluation strategy that you can use throughout your project. In our third session, we'll be looking at small community archive sessions. So, these are small groups that you're getting together and working with. In our fourth, we expand that a little bit to look at larger sessions as well as festivals and the like, when you're doing a street fair or something like that around a particular neighborhood, etc. And finally, we'll end up with continued engagement. How do you keep these conversations going over time? So as we've said, this is something that we think is generally applicable. We're really looking at those things. A lot of times we'll refer to things as pinning sessions, just because that's how we refer to them internally. But obviously they could be memory sessions or community engagement sessions. However you might phrase that, I think the lessons learned will be useful across the board. So with that, we'll go on to the next, or our first session, and start from there. Thanks again for joining us.